welcome to Bobo Bun. I'm Lisa, a vintage inspired dressmaker and dressmaking teacher. And also chat with you about my autumn knitting plans, which includes what I'm finishing up from last year, more current finishing ups, and things I'd like to be knitting in the future alongside a few new makes. It covers all areas, and obviously being a true creative, it does mean that you have all sorts of ideas on the go and ideas of things that you'd like to be doing and things that never get finished because you get seduced by the next shiny new thing. That's the way my brain works, and I know it's the way a lot of other people's brains works. But I'm really excited to be here talking with you about the knitty stuff. It's something that I pretty much do of an evening. I save my evening time for snuggling up. I could either read or can knit and watch a period drama. So that's what I like to do. And if it's an easy knit, I could just do it by touch. I don't need to look at the work. I can't watch something if it's, say, a cable and there's lots of counting and concentrating needed. Hence, I've got a cable cardigan that is taking a hell of a long time. I think I've just done that much at the back. I'll show that to you in a moment. My most recent knit, which is nearly there, but I just need a little bit more wool to do the last button band and the this collar. Gorgeous cardigan. It's I suppose sort of like a duck egg blue. And I've really enjoyed knitting it. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's hard to see actually here, but it's got a stepped rib at the front. I think I might have mentioned this before. I knitted a button band and sewed it on. I've never done it this way. I normally pick up the stitches and it's curled in, so I might have to unpick that and sew that on better, or just do a bit of steaming, because I'm not happy with that. Now this knit comes from this fabulous book here, Tyrolean Knitwear, Timeless Tyrolean Knitwear, sorry, by the lovely Linda. I have shown you this book and talked about it before. I'll put a link down below if you want to find Linda, who's on Instagram and shares her amazing, mainly 1940s knits with you, tips, all sorts of things, and I think she does commissions too, and she's just the most lovely giving lady. So that's Linda. I'm using this pattern for my blue, but I've omitted all the bobbly bits. I've knitted it in plain. So this should have been knitted in a garter stitch. I've done it in stocking stitch, and then I won't do this embroidery on it. But I'm tempted to do some embroidery all around the neck, whether in black or cream, maybe some beading or something. That's the plan anyway, where I want to go with this cardigan. Whether it happens or not, who knows, but that's what's always been in my head. Anyhow, the original pattern that comes from Stitchcraft, and on one of my recent jaunts I came across the actual magazine. It's Stitchcraft December 1951, so it's got the pattern in here too, so it's rather lovely to find the original pattern that inspired, you know, the one that I'm working on from Linda's this book. One was started sometime this year, probably a couple of months ago, maybe a bit more, and I've been working on that. But I've also got, I think, 3 knits from last winter that I started, and they're all 4-ply. I find 4-ply, it's just beautiful, but I'm slow with 4-ply. If I'm doing double knit or an Aran, you know, you get your knitwear nice and quickly. But I really want to finish this jumper. I showed it to you at the beginning. I'll just hold up the book whilst it's very heavy. It's from Stitch in Time, Susan Crawford. So I've got another one from here as well. If I flick it around like so, it's the Golden Eagle ladies jumper. This beautiful jumper here. Now I've knitted the front and one of the sleeves, and now I'm working on the back. I'm using these colours. I put a cream in. So I've got this dark pink here, this pale pink here, and a cream. They're the colours that I've gone for. And then I'll have the bows on it. Now, lovely Sarah of Olive Road, London, she's a vintage fabric dealer, and sometimes I'm lucky enough to meet up with her when I go to some of the stitching shows or whatever. She very kindly sent me a huge bundle of vintage knitwear patterns recently. They're absolutely gorgeous. And I don't have the pattern, it's just the picture, but this was in there. So it's a long sleeve version without the bows of the jumper I'm knitting. And if you look at those colours really speak to me. So yeah, I might have to do this again. You never know. And actually there's more bands. Rather than 4, there's 5 bands on this one. It goes really high up to the neck. But yeah, those colours and doing it long sleeve really speak to me. So if I ever get this one finished, I may do another. It's really funny because I tend to knit a lot of plain knits because a lot of the clothes that I make are patterned. I need plain things to go with that. However, I do love the look of Fair Isle mixed with a floral print, something like that. And I do adore all the colour work that you can do with knitwear. It's just that I'm loath to do it because I think, how much would I wear it? And we live in such a tiny terrace house and space is at a premium. Just as an aside, my partner, he's just gone off to Seattle now, so he's away for 9 days. So got 9 days to myself, or just Rosie, my oldest daughter's here as well. And before he went, he said, we really need to thin things out in the bedroom. There's hardly any storage space, and all the storage space you pretty much have. And who actually needs as many clothes as you have? And I said, I don't actually have that many clothes. I put my summer and winter stuff away under the bed. I rotate it round. I get rid of more than I probably would like to by selling it or giving it to charity because we don't have the space. And actually, if you look on Instagram, you will see that other people have a huge wall of wardrobes and they have loads of clothes. So I don't have that much, really. But he says I'm not like normal people who only have a few. And I said, well, I don't want to be like normal people. So yeah, that is the debate. But obviously I've only got so much storage space, even though I'm fighting not being like normal people, because I'm not really sure what so-called normal people are, to be honest. I mentioned doing a bit more colour work and Fair Isle. And I have this beautiful pattern. Again, this is in the Stitch in Time book. I wonder if I can find it quickly to show you. I'll keep talking while I'm looking. I think that's 50s, the eagle jumper, so it'll be back in the 40s section. And the model on that pattern, I think she's called Peggy something. I can't remember her surname, but she was used so much. You know, she was a great model of the 40s. Here it is. I've found it in the book. Oh gosh. Here it is. I found it in the book. It's this jumper, and they have got the original picture in here. And then there's the cardigan, which was a separate pattern. It's just absolutely beautiful. I love the duck egg blue as well. Now, I've tried Fair Isle before and I just knit it all up too tight. I know how I can't remember what the word is. Yeah, float. You float your threads along the back. I used to do a lot of intarsia knitting for my daughters when they were small. I loved putting different motifs and things in their knitwear, their jumpers and their cardigans. And I used to design children's hats, all different animal hats. And that used a lot of intarsia. Used to sell those at markets and whatnot. It's funny how you evolve and move on with the different things you do. But Fair Isle is something I've never quite got to grips with. I always end up making it really thick and spongy and then too small. So that would be one of my goals of an area of knitting that I want to you know, get to grips with. I'm fine with cable, lace knitting, all of these things, but Fair Isle, so maybe I should find a Fair Isle knitting course. That would be quite fun to go on. Actually, just pop that in my head. Yeah, I must look for one. I think a day's workshop in Fair Isle knitting would be a truly lovely thing to do. So that's one of my goals, but that's not going to be a upcoming knit. Now, in my knitting basket, I've got various knitting bags and my knitting basket. The black bow jumper I told you about, I'll just pop a picture up of the pattern of that because it shows up better than the black I'm knitting. I really want to get it finished because it's just gorgeous in the picture, and I think that will go with lots. And this is the bow. This is all I've knitted can I put it up close? Can you see it? This lovely cable. They're all drops yarns, these ones. They're just absolutely gorgeous. And I just love this colour. It's not one that I normally wear. I made a 1940s dress, which I sold to a lady in New York a couple of years ago now, in a beautiful crepe. And I'll pop a picture up of that. And I've been trying to find the same crepe because even though I sold the dress, I would like to make another one. So that's what drew me to knitting with this colour, because I can picture a dress either pale blue underneath with this, or, you know, I just think the pale blue and this burgundy colour, they just go so beautifully together. And I will pop up a picture of what this pattern is rather than showing you in the book. It's again from A Stitch in Time. Who knows when this will ever get finished, but they're all there wanting to be finished. In my other knitting plans, the VNeck Cardigan, of which I've knitted 3 from Untangled Knots. It's a V-neck cardigan, which I changed slightly. I changed the bands to rib and whatnot. And I got in a stone colour, a pale pink and a black. So much. They go with literally everything. And I want to have another colourway. And rather than a red, this is showing up quite bright in the light today. But this is more of a Merlot. It's really hard to show the colour, it's annoying. You can just see how trying to buy from colours online is quite difficult. But this is a warmer, it's an alpaca. I bought it from the wool shop when we were staying in Massam on our Yorkshire hollybobs this year. And I wanted something, you know, from the holiday that I would knit. So I've got this to knit myself another VNeck. So that will be quite a quick knit, usually in about 2 weeks to have one of those knitted up. And then earlier in the summer we went to a wool shop I'd not been to before called Venetia's Yarn, I believe, up in the Brex part of Norfolk, sort of going in, a place called Fakenham. And I got this West Yorkshire Spinners Bow Peep yarn. I also got a pale pink, which I'm knitting a bed jacket. Honestly, I'm just... now when I start talking to you, I realise how many projects I've got on the go. It's appalling, really. But I got this blue. It's a beautiful soft yarn. I'm trying to see what it's Falkland wool, but it's so soft and lovely. And I want to knit that into the Confidette Bolero from Tasha. Could make that. Tasha is really wonderful. I love her style. You know, her outlook on life, her views, you know, I totally relate to where she's coming from. A really interesting, fun lady and inspiring. And she has her own knitwear patterns. And I bought the beret that she did and I knitted, but sadly they looked awful on me. I'm not much of, I love hats, but they just don't love me. I do want to buy one of her other knitwear patterns, but I can't remember the name of it at the moment. But my friend Kat, she's knitted the Confidette Bolero a few times, and she so kindly bought me a copy and sent it to me, which was really, really kind of her. We didn't want to share it because that would be disrespectful to Tasha, who's, you know, doing that as her small business. So obviously she bought me one. So I will get round to knitting one of those too. They're very handy to just pop over a dress. Now, whilst you can see I've got lots of wool and lots of projects on the go, every now and then I just get the urge to go to Wool Warehouse. If I'm not in a wool shop, go to Wool Warehouse, see what drops yarns they are, get seduced by lots of colours, and then I want to buy some more for new projects. And I did look last night and there's a new type of drops yarn out and the colours were amazing in that too. But I was good, I didn't buy any. I thought, no, just hang back. You have got more than enough at the moment. I mean, I can't believe the self-control there. It's like going in a sweet shop and you just, oh, colours and textures. But there we go. I was good. Because I've looked through my cupboard and I've got quite a bit of wool from other projects, things I never got around to make. And I've got about 6 balls of this Drops Flora in this cream. It's lovely. Well, I think the burgundy's in the Flora actually as well, that I showed you, the cable burgundy. I've got this cream here, and I'd bought this to knit myself a waistcoat. I thought that would be lovely layering. I'd still like to knit a waistcoat, but I've I've got this, it's 4-ply, and I found a couple of balls of this in black that have been moved over to knit my black jumper. But it was the black that kind of got me thinking with this. I'd get some more Flora, so I'd use the same wool. This jumper, I've had the pattern for ages. I've got a folder of various vintage patterns that I bought on Etsy. And this one is from Subversive Femme. I think I bought this a few years ago as well. And I've always loved this one, but it's knitting the bows. I get really bored knitting little tiny strips. That's why I don't like doing the button bands on cardigans and things. That's the only thing that's put me off doing this beautiful, beautiful jumper. But I thought, as much as I love all the mix of colours, I thought black and cream, that, you know, the bows in black, the main jumper in cream would look amazing. The idea for the cream jumper came from Mrs. Hall's friend in All Creatures Great and Small. I can't remember her name. Dark-haired friend, or no, Audrey's Mrs. Hall. But her friend, she was in, drove ambulances with in the war. Very glamorous lady, and Siegfried obviously takes a shine to her for a while. But I don't think she'll be in it anymore. She just seemed to pop in and out. But she had an amazing cream jumper on when she helped Siegfried out with, I think she had a scarf in the neck and blue wool skirt, and I just loved the look. And I thought, well, I'd love to do a cream jumper like she was wearing then. And I've got a similar pattern here with the cable at the neck, but I do it long sleeved. I thought that would work really well for this cream. I'd have to buy more. So it's, do I do Mrs. Hall's friend's jumper in the plain, or do I do the bow jumper? I don't know. I've got plenty of time to think about it. So that's that. I've got two other bits of news. It's about vintage knitting books, so I'll show you those in a moment, and some accessories that I've been knitting. Now, I showed you in the beginning some of my covered hangers. Let's move away. There's that one. This one's crocheted, this one's knitted, and this one's knitted. I used to sell these cheeky cherry brooches, and I had one left over, so I appliqued that front on the front there. I have got tons of these. They are great, you know, for hanging all my clothes on, you know. Rather than doing the fabric covered ones, I just like doing the knitted ones and embellishing them. Loads of wooden vintage hangers that I collect every time I'm out and about and see them, so they're in the cupboard. I've got quite a few of these, but always need more. So I set myself the task of knitting 4. I decided on these colours. I looked what was in my stash, and I had the green, the cream, black and pink. So I knitted these, you know, sort of one an evening. So if I show you on this pink one, this is what my wooden hangers are like. And then you put this through the middle. And by the way, this pattern is from Jane Brockett's book. I think it's A Gentle Art of Knitting. It's fabulous, really easy pattern. I could even tell you how to do the pattern if you wanted, because it literally is rows of garter stitch, stocking stitch, garter, you know, all the way along till you get something long enough to stretch over your hanger. Put it on the centre and sew it up. So I've got these two. I thought I'd leave, I didn't finish sewing them so I could show you the bare bones. So that's my cream one sewn up, my green, and my black one's in the process of being sewn. And then once they're all made, I can embellish them all, whether I put fabric bows on them, make my felt flowers, just whatever I feel like doing. They just need a little bit of embellishment and fun in the middle. You could leave them plain, but and also great for Christmas present ideas, of which some people will be getting these for Christmas. Not these ones, but some other ones. So they're just really enjoyable nighttime knits. And then recently I've been adding to my vintage knitwear books. These have been over the last few months, but I've just not shown them all to you yet. So I love the illustration on the front. I've got Complete Home Knitting Illustrated. Then Knitting for All Illustrated, of which I thought they were the same, but one's complete, one's It's not incomplete, but... And then this lovely one, the Pictorial Guide to Modern Home Knitting, of which I've got the Complete Guide to Modern Home Dressing as well. So this is the companion book. But absolutely, absolutely marvellous. And I was just going to show you, I think it's on page 79. In this book, I love this bow. I do adore a bow. And I'm thinking of knitting a few of these in different colours to make into brooches. I thought they'd look really lovely. I do like my felt brooches, my knitted. This is my cheeky cherries I was talking about a moment ago on the coat hanger. Totally forgetting I was wearing one. So I'm going to knit a few of these bows. I think they'd make lovely brooches. This book is utterly beautiful. It does have a few patterns in it, as well as giving you various sort of knitting instructions. And just the most beautiful illustrations in it too. And then when we've got Complete Home Knitting Illustrated, I think I have shown you this one actually. I don't know, might have done. There's the mum and the daughter, they're knitting. But this one very much, they focus very much on the war and shortages. And then Knitting for All Illustrated. And also I just love, you know, the cover papers, aren't they just beautiful? So much to see in them. Again, this is utterly stunning. Just the most beautiful illustrations again. And just loads to inspire, as if I need any more inspiration to get me going off down those paths. I love the cable stitch in this one. It's very, very unusual. And again, that would be a very handy little knit. It's terrible, isn't it? You keep seeing different things that you want to knit, sew, make, do. Oh, anyway, I hope I haven't exhausted you all with all of that news. There's so much. So it's been lovely joining you today. So if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and join in all the fun, and comment so we can chat, and let people know I'm over here. So more the merrier. Until next time, happy knitting and sewing and making and ideas buzzing. See you soon. Bye.